I mean, this is embarrassing, but I had a huge crush on her when I was 13, as she was 13 as well.
Ooh. Congratulations on the show. I just couldn't stop binge the whole thing. I just couldn't. It's one of those shows. Of course, it's based on a true story. So I wanted to know, like, what did you heard? Had you heard of this true story before signing on to it? And was it something that immediately grabbed you? If you hadn't, because it's a seriously like it's hard to believe some of this actually happened. Maybe Ariane, you could start.
Yeah, sure. I would say um, I just heard of the headlines, and then I read the script. And when I read the script, I read the cut article, and I then, was lost. I was just mesmerized by every aspect of it. I mean, the headline of Soho Grifter can go in a million different ways, or fake German errors, but when you get to the details, then you start going, wow, this is an insane story.
It is. And Alexis, I mean, it says at the start of every episode, this is a true story, except for the parts that are totally made up, right? So it keeps us guessing. So I'm wondering, your characters, did they really exist then? Like, because even believing Anna existed is hard in the first place, but then all these other characters, how many of them really existed? And if they did you get to research then and try and find out about the real person?
Yes, yes, it is a real cast of characters. They are living, breathing, beautiful beings, and I got to have a relationship with Neff a bit. We had dinner together. She really stayed close. She was a really invaluable resource, especially because the more work I did, the more I realized like this is a woman who knows herself impeccably well, like in a very rare, special way. So it was
Yeah.
really nice to be able to text her like, remind me like what your favorite part of your eighth birthday was, and she could immediately tell me. She's just so in touch
Yeah.
with herself.
Does that make it easier than a normal role then? Because you actually have a live reference do you know what I mean? As you say, to bounce off, to literally copy, I suppose.
I thought so. I mean, to the point where like there are character details that I will now take further with me in the career that I would have never thought to have crafted before. I just because she was so in touch with herself, I will now use this level of detail as like the new home base for sure.
Okay. And Ariane, I love you in Succession, but the character in that is so dark. This is like you're kind of the good guy almost. Do you know what I mean? Even though he's questioning still who is Anna because nobody knows, he's kind of helping her out. So was it nice to do a lighter character, maybe, to put it that way?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in a way, to be honest, the best part about this job is outside of working with Shonda and the writing team is that all of my scene partners are these amazing ladies. That is something that I just had a great time. So many of them
Yeah.
are in the theater community as well. So I've known them for years. So it was nice to bounce off of them at a place. And, yes, it's much different than Succession. But it is, yeah, I really love that about this job. I really, really did.
And working on a Netflix show, is it much different than doing a show like Succession? Do TV shows now, do they film differently in any way, or is a TV show a TV show?
On both of these shows, I have to be honest, there is so much reliance on the artists that are making the art. You know what I mean? There's so much room that we are given as artists.
Yeah.
So in that way, they're very similar. We just started with the Netflix with this show, so we'll see what the swag situation is. But the swag situation on HBO Max is very nice. So we'll see, Netflix, if you're listening.
Shondaland, let's go back to that. We'll go to you, Alexis. I mean, as a female in a role that's got so many, in a story that's got so many women in it, was it nice to be part of that? And what is Shonda like to work with? I assume you actually get to meet her if you do a Shondaland production.
Oh yes, and she really is a writer first. Like her imagination is extraordinary, as you can only imagine.
Yeah.
And being with her at the table and just like seeing her be so passionate and like almost watching her play pretend behind her eyes. I mean, she is an artist as much as she is, the builder of an empire. So
Yeah.
it was a wonderful energy, and she really loves her people. She celebrates her people in a very unique way. And to be a part of that family, it's the dream.
Okay. And
I'm
Ariane, a
just
lot
going
of
to
your
jump in on one. I want to just say one thing about
go on.
Shonda.
Yeah.
On the first day of that table read, remember, Alexis, when they flew us out to LA?
Yeah.
I also want to just say, being in a room that was so full of every diversity and color and feeling, and it was more women than it was a nice place. She puts a good, I just wanted to
Yeah.
say that because
Yeah. But it's unusual, unfortunately, as well.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? So it's worth pointing out.
Unusual.
Yeah. And Arian, a lot of your scenes are with Anna Chlumsky. She's haunting you for info and the whole thing. So what was she like to work with then? Because I love her as an actress since My Girl, even. Do you know what I mean? So what's she like?
Well, this is embarrassing, but I had a huge crush on her when I was 13, as she was 13 as well. And I did tell her that. And I think she probably hears that a lot. She's amazing. She's fun. She's exciting. She's energetic. She's creative. She's intellectual. She's one of the smartest people that I kind of know. She speaks like I don't even know how many languages. She is giving. She's vulnerable, and she's a theater person. So we had a lot of like theater connects in New York City.
Okay. And obviously Julia Garner is Anna, who's the person that's just keeping everybody guessing. I mean, Alexis, you have a lot of scenes with her. What was she like to work with? And we were impressed with the accent, because at the start I was kind of going, what's she doing? Like, what accent is she trying to do? And then I kind of realized, oh, I get it. We're not supposed to know where she's from. So she's actually a genius who's kind of keeping everybody it's a very clever accent, isn't it?
Very clever, and her ability to sort of code switch on a dime. I mean, it's this like impeccable. Julia like made a smoothie recipe of Russian, German, New York, Gossip Girl, Sex in the City. Like she really is like celebrating all of Anna's people's, places, and things that are inside of that woman. And she never missed a beat, not one day.
Okay, and now we're getting to the release of it. This is really one of the most hyped Netflix show. Everybody's talking about this and asking me, how come you've seen it? So is it hard to keep your lips sealed on it a little bit? You know, there are a lot of people asking you about what really happens and in the show.
I mean, yes and no. In a way, a lot of it's in the article, so a lot of it is, you can find out yourself. I think most people don't know about her yet. And I think their eyes are just going to like bulge out of their heads when the yacht is stolen and a jet is stolen and they're in Marrakesh. And, I think all these things, people's eyes are just going to like out of their heads.
Very lastly, Arian, I mean, you've got Retribution with our very own Liam Neeson from Ireland coming up. Do you love Liam as much as we do?
You cannot. I love him. I love him. We actually, our biggest conversation was talking about, again, the theater. We were talking about his production of The Crucible. Liam was such a gentleman and kind and gracious. So yeah, I'm excited for that movie to come out.
Pleasure, guys. Congratulations on inventing Anna. And good luck with everything. Cheers.
Thanks. You too,
Thank
Sean.
you.
Yes, thank you.